Have you ever stopped to think about, say, those huge wind turbine blades? Or maybe a high-performance surfboard, how light they are?
Mhm.
Or even, building model airplanes back in the day?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Balsa wood.
Exactly. Balsa wood, it's the common thread, right?
Yeah.
Super lightweight, but surprisingly strong. It's way more than just for hobbies, though. It's actually part of a pretty complex global market.
Absolutely.
So today, that's what we're diving into, the global balsa wood market. We've got this detailed market report. It looks back at 2021 and projects things all the way out to 2033.
Right. It's quite comprehensive.
Yeah. So our mission really is to kind of unpack the key trends, figure out what's driving the growth, and look at the shifts happening region by region. Basically give you a shortcut to understanding this surprisingly dynamic sector.
That's a great way to put it. It's not just about the numbers themselves, but, why they matter. We'll start with the big global picture, then sort of drill down into specific countries, specific regions, so you can really see where the growth is coming from and maybe what's behind it.
Oh.
And just as a little spoiler, the overall growth is, it's pretty impressive. And some regions you might not expect are really leading the charge.
Interesting. Okay, let's get into those numbers then. Globally, you're saying it's not really a niche market anymore?
Oh, far from it. The report shows this consistent, significant expansion. I mean, the momentum is quite striking.
Okay.
So back in 2021, the global market was valued at 142.399 million US dollars.
Right.
Fast forward to 2025, it's expected to hit 179.776 million.
Yeah.
But the real kicker is the projection for 2033. 286.536 million US dollars.
Wow. Okay. That's almost double in what, just over a decade?
Exactly. It's a huge expansion.
And that growth is pretty steady, right? The report mentions a global compound annual growth rate, the STUGR, of 6%.
Yep, a steady 6%.
And for anyone listening who doesn't deal with market reports daily, that CAGR, it's not just a simple average, is it? It smooths things out.
Precisely. It gives you that clear, consistent picture of the long-term growth trend. It tells us this isn't just some fleeting thing. It's built on solid, predictable demand.
Okay.
A consistent 6% CAGR points to, a fundamental and growing need for balsa across different industries. It suggests the material is becoming more and more indispensable.
And why is that, fundamentally? What makes balsa so valuable?
It really comes down to its properties. You've got that exceptional strength-to-weight ratio. It's a great insulator. It's buoyant.
Right.
So think about lightweight core materials and composites. That's huge in aerospace, marine applications, and maybe most visibly right now, wind turbine blades. They need that structure, but minimal weight is absolutely critical.
Ah, okay. So wind turbines are a big driver here.
A very significant one. That's where a lot of that consistent global demand is coming from. It leverages those unique properties perfectly.
Makes sense. All right, let's maybe zoom in a bit. North America, how does it fit into this picture? Sounds like it's a pretty solid, established market.
It definitely is a strong foundation. North America's market grew from about 47.7 million US dollars in 2021 to an estimated 59.3 million in 2025. And the projection for 2033 is 92 million, so still growing strong.
And the SAGR for the region?
It's holding steady at 5.64%, so yeah, still very important globally.
Okay, strong and steady. And within North America, I assume the U.S. is the biggest piece of that pie.
That's right. The U.S. leads the region. It was about 33.7 million back in 2021, projected to hit almost 41 million by 2025, and then over 62 million by 2033.
And its growth rate?
The U.S. CGR is a solid 5.496%. Very robust.
What do you think is driving that specifically in the U.S.? Which industries?
Well, given the U.S. industrial base, it's likely those established sectors, aerospace for sure. They use a lot of lightweight composites, and balsa is often the core.
Right.
The marine industry, too, think high-performance boats, even recreational ones. Balsa's buoyancy and strength to weight are key there. And, of course, wind energy. That infrastructure is expanding rapidly across the states, and balsa is right in those blades. So, yeah, it creates a stable base for growth.
That makes a lot of sense. But interestingly, the report shows Canada doing really well, too.
It does, yeah.
Growing from about 9.8 million in 2021 to nearly 13 million in 2025, and projected over 21.5 million by 2033.
Look at their CAGR.
Right. 6.751%. That's actually higher than the U.S. rate.
It is. It's a keen observation.
What's driving Canada's faster pace, do you think?
That's a good question. Canada's higher growth rate?
Yeah.
Well, It could be a few things. They've made significant investments in renewables, particularly wind farms, right? So that's a major factor.
Logical.
There might also be some specialized manufacturing niches, maybe high-performance sports gear, or even architectural modeling for their growing cities. Hard to say for sure, but something's driving that stronger demand compared to their size.
Interesting. And Mexico?
Mexico shows more modest growth. It goes from about 4.2 million in 2021 up to nearly 8 million by 2033. The CAGR there is just under 4%, 3.994%.
Still a bit slower.
Yeah, suggests maybe different stages of industrial development or perhaps different primary uses, maybe more local construction or specific niche manufacturing rather than large-scale aerospace or wind energy.
It really shows the variety, doesn't it? Even within a mature market like North America, you see these different speeds and dynamics. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic now. Europe. How's the picture looking there? Seems a bit more diverse, maybe.
Yeah, Europe presents a solid but definitely more varied picture. The overall market grew from 35 million US dollars in 2021 to an expected 43 million in 2025.
Okay.
And the projection for 2033 is around 67.6 million.
Right.
That gives it a regional CAGR of 5.778%, so pretty much in line with the global trend.
Consistent.
Very. And Europe benefits from having that well-established manufacturing base, plus a strong focus on sustainability and lightweight materials research.
Right, and you see the big players you'd expect. Germany's significant, projected at over 10 million in 2025.
Yep.
The UK is also strong, around 7.5 million in 2025, and interestingly, its CAGR is quite high at 6.631%.
That UK figure is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, what could be behind that?
Well, for both Germany and the UK, their industrial heritage plays a role. Think high-end automotive, maybe specialized construction, defense, areas where lightweight, durable materials are key. Germany's engineering strength likely drives demand in precision uses, advanced composites. The UK's strong CAGR, though, perhaps it's driven more by innovation sectors, or maybe niche markets like bespoke furniture or high-end leisure equipment.
Could be. But here's something that really jumped out at me from the report, the rest of Europe category.
Nice.
Tiny in absolute terms, right? Started at less than $1 million in 2021, 0.841 million.
Very small base.
But projected to jump to almost 2.3 million by 2033. And look at that CAGR, 8.54%. That's the highest in Europe.
It's truly fascinating, isn't it? It really speaks to how global demand evolves.
What's going on there? Why is such dynamic growth in these smaller aggregated markets?
Well, this rest of Europe, which lumps together countries beyond the big ones like France, Italy, Russia, Scandinavia, it's likely a mix of factors.
Okay.
It could be smaller, specialized industries just starting to adopt Balsa, or maybe nascent renewable energy projects are taking off. Could be new construction tech demanding lightweight materials in these developing economies within Europe.
And the low starting point makes the percentage look higher, too.
Exactly. But it definitely underscores that innovation and rapid growth aren't just happening in the biggest economies. Sometimes these smaller markets are quicker to adopt new things.
That's a great point. The collective growth of smaller players can be a powerful indicator.
Okay, from Europe, let's pivot to Asia Pacific, a region known for its economic dynamism. I assume that holds true for balsa wood too. Oh, absolutely. Asia Pacific is a real powerhouse for balsa, mirroring its overall economic trajectory. The market there was valued around 24.5 million US dollars in 2021. It's projected to hit 32 million in 2025, and then jump significantly to nearly 54 million, 53.833 million by 2033.
Wow.
And here's the key takeaway. This region boasts the highest overall CAGR of all regions we're looking at, a staggering 6.669%.
6.67%. That's huge. Where's that growth concentrated within Asia Pacific? What's driving it?
Well, no surprise, China is a major player. It goes from about 7.8 million in 2021 to over 10 million in 2025, and projected at 17.6 million by 2033. That's a strong 6.87% CGR.
Okay, driven by their manufacturing scale.
Exactly. China's vast manufacturing, its role as a global supplier. Balsa gets used in everything from construction to industrial applications, and especially, like we discussed, in their massive push for wind energy.
Right. But I noticed another country in that region with an even higher growth rate, India.
You're spot on. India is a real standout here. Check out its CGR, 7.779%.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, the market there grew from about 3.5 million in 2021, projected to 4.7 million in 2025, and aiming for almost 8.6 million by 2033.
What's fueling that in India?
It reflects India's rapid infrastructure development, its growing manufacturing base, and a significant push towards renewables as well. There's just huge demand for lightweight, durable materials for these big projects. Plus, a growing consumer market helps too.
And Southeast Asia.
Also very strong. Growing economic expansion there leads to a CAGR of 7.017%. Similar drivers industrial development infrastructure projects.
So the takeaway for Asia Pacific is clear. If you're looking for where the most explosive growth is happening, this is the region. And India in particular is one to watch.
Definitely. A very significant shift happening there.
All right, let's move south now to South America. How does that region compare in the global Balsa market?
South America shows what I'd call a steady ascent, pretty consistent with the overall global picture. The market was about 18.2 million US dollars in 2021, expected to grow to 22.6 million by 2025, and then reach almost 35 million, 34.671 million by 2033. The SPGR is 5.481%.
So solid, steady growth.
Exactly. It points to a kind of foundational demand across the continent, probably linked to its developing economies.
And who's the main player there? I guess Brazil.
You'd be right. Brazil leads the region. It's projected at about 8.5 million US dollars in 2025, and it has a solid CAGR of 5.848%.
Makes sense, given its size.
Yeah, Brazil's large economy, its industrial base. Demand there is likely driven by construction, local manufacturing, maybe its own renewable energy efforts too.
And other countries contribute too.
Oh, sure. Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile, yeah. They all add to that consistent regional growth, often tied to local construction needs, maybe some specialized industrial uses.
It's interesting, though, that even with a big player like Brazil, the overall regional growth rate is pretty much aligned with the global average.
Right. It really underlines how widespread the demand for balsa is becoming. It's not just concentrated in a few spots. It's finding uses as economies develop everywhere.
Okay, let's shift gears again. The Middle East. Now, that's a region maybe you don't immediately think of for, well, wood products. But the report suggests a promising trajectory.
It definitely does. And this is another one of those areas with, let's say, surprising strength. The Middle East market was valued just under 11 million US dollars in 2021, 10.965 million. It's projected to grow to 14 million by 2025, and then up to almost 23 million, 22.923 million by 2033. That gives it a really healthy CAGR of 6.325%.
That is robust expansion. What's driving that in the Middle East? Which countries are standing out?
Well, the UAE actually shows the strongest CAGR in the region, an impressive 6.893%.
Wow.
It grows from about 1.8 million in 2021 to nearly 4 million by 2033. Saudi Arabia is also strong, with a 6.723% CAGR.
And what's behind this growth? It can't just be traditional industries.
You'll know it's likely tied to their ambitious economic diversification plans. Think about those massive infrastructure projects you hear about.
Right, the mega projects.
Exactly. And the big push into renewable energy solar, but also wind. They need high-performance, lightweight materials for all of that.
Right.
Balsa fits the bill, whether it's for architectural models of these huge developments or increasingly as a core material in composites for their new industries.
It's fascinating. A region built on oil wealth is now creating demand for balsa wood as it diversifies into high-tech and sustainable sectors.
It really suggests a strategic pivot, doesn't it, towards industries that need advanced materials.
All right, everyone, buckle up. Because I think this next region is probably the most fascinating revelation from this whole deep dive. We're heading to Africa, which, based on these numbers, is really emerging as an unexpected leader in the balsa wood market.
You're absolutely right to flag Africa. The numbers are quite striking. The market there grew from just under 6 million US dollars in 2021, 5.981 million.
Okay.
It's projected to hit 8.5 million in 2025, and then reach over 15 million, 15.471 million by 2033. That trajectory is truly remarkable.
And here's the headline figure. Africa has one of the strongest TGRs globally, an astounding 7.731%.
Incredible, isn't it? For a region sometimes overlooked in these kinds of global market discussions.
Totally. So which countries are driving this powerhouse growth? And what's behind such rapid expansion?
Nigeria and South Africa are definitely key players. Nigeria is growing strongly with a 7.303% CAGR, going from about 2.4 million in 2021 to nearly 5.75 million in 2033. That growth in Nigeria, being Africa's largest economy, is probably linked to increased industrialization, infrastructure spending, maybe a growing domestic consumer goods market using balsa.
Okay. And South Africa?
South Africa is right there, too, with a slightly higher GR of 7.641%, moving from 2.7 million to almost 7 million over the same period.
And the drivers there? More established industry.
Likely. South Africa's more established industrial base, its own push into renewables, plus maybe continued demand in mining equipment or specialized manufacturing seem like probable drivers.
Okay, here's the real showstopper, the bit that made me pause. The report calls it rest of Africa.
Ah, yes. Similar to the rest of Europe.
But the numbers. It boasts the highest African CEGR and one of the highest globally, a phenomenal 8.895%.
8.9%. That's huge.
Yeah. It's projected to grow from less than $1 million, 0.897 million in 2021, to over 1.4 million in 2025, and then dramatically to 2.8 million by 2033. It nearly triples in just over a decade. What on earth is driving that kind of explosive growth in these smaller, diverse markets across the continent?
That is truly a powerful signal of emerging trends. The rest of Africa segment, its exceptional CGR suggests, well, again, a mix of things.
Okay.
Firstly, yes, starting from very low base makes percentage growth look high. But more deeply, it points to rapid development happening across many African nations simultaneously.
Like what kind of development?
We could be seeing new investments in small-scale manufacturing taking off, increased demand for construction materials as cities grow, and crucially, maybe local adoption of Balsa and renewable energy projects, or even things like education and craft markets that expand as living standards rise.
So it's widespread, maybe small-scale growth adding up.
Exactly. It highlights that the need for versatile, lightweight, often cost-effective materials like balsa is truly global now, and it's popping up fast in places we might not have traditionally looked.
What an incredible journey that was, right across the globe, from the solid bases in North America and Europe to the dynamic growth in Asia-Pacific, South America's steady climb, the Middle East's surprising trajectory, and ending with Africa as a real unexpected leader.
Yeah, we've really seen how this material, balsa wood, something you might just picture in a hobby shop,
Totally.
is actually a serious and rapidly expanding part of the global economy. It's not just growing, it's evolving with really strong expansion, as we saw in Africa, India, parts of Asia, and the Middle East,
Yeah.
driven by everything from wind turbines to city building.
The data really paints this clear picture of rising diverse demand. Balsa seems pretty indispensable in many modern industries. So maybe a final thought for you listening, as you reflect on this surprising story, beyond the obvious things like renewables and aerospace, what other innovations or design trends do you think are pushing Balsa into new areas? What's making its global market nearly double by 2033? What is it about this lightweight wood that makes it so uniquely suited for where we're heading?
Yeah, what else is driving that appetite? Something to definitely think about until our next deep dive.